Hello again, folks, and welcome to a very special presentation here at Silk on the Web. I've been working on this for a minute or two, and I am tremendously excited to show you my collection of Canadian stamps. I'm also going to talk a little bit about why I love Canadian stamps, and I think you should collect them too. So put a pot of tea on the kettle. So put a cup of tea on the... So put a pot of tea in the kettle. God. So as you may have seen on other videos, I have been in pursuit of a style of stamp collecting, a system that I could use for my entire collection. My one stamp collecting method to rule them all. As if such a thing is possible. And one of the things I developed was little tabs that could be inserted into stock books like this. And so this is the result. Little pieces of cardstock that have the requisite information you need that you can just slide into the stockbook like that, and it works pretty well. If you're interested in doing something like this, I used Excel and a mail merge, and then that allowed me to have all of the catalog information on each. And yet, I have a space for all of the major Canadian stamps. And I like that it says Silk's Canadian Stamps, of course. So here is page 1. I have no stamps from page 1. If you are looking to get into Canadian stamps, you are looking for imperforated stamps if you're trying to find the real gems. I have yet to get any of the older stamps for my collection. But then you get into some of the newer stamps, into the Queen Victoria. Now, one of the things that's attractive about Canadian philately is obviously it was British Empire, and so you have an awful lot of collectors that are after Queen Victoria and old British Empire stamps. I'm going to leave that in there. So there is my earliest Canadian stamps, including the beaver. And who doesn't love the beaver? I do like that this system allows you to put the catalog value right next to the stamp so you can see all of the information. And then I put the identifying characteristics for what's on the back of the stamp so that you don't have to remove it from here to tell that that has a hinge remnant. But then I move into some of the more populated section of my Canadian stamps, which I really like. The Queen Victorias. This is a particularly fine small queen. There are a lot of color variations. There are a lot of different types within these that you can become a specialist and learn about. I love this cancel. While we're here, I will give a shout out to the Unitrade Specialized Catalog for Canadian Stamps. This is fantastic. What a great resource this is. It also will give you catalog value based on condition. So there's different, if your stamp is very fine, fine, good, and it gives you a catalog value for each, which I appreciate. Not all catalogs do that. Here is a nice big queen that I found in a lot that I got from an abandoned barn. That was a fun journey. The Jubilee series is one of the more sought-after series in philately, I would argue. I think it is a very, very fun series to collect. And the higher denominations are particularly sought after. This one came from one of you all, and thank you again. Isn't there something about flipping through a stock book? I just love the interleave pages. I don't know, simple pleasures, folks. And into the later Queen Victorias. The ones with the maple leaves in the corners are going to be the older series and a little bit more sought after. I do like a stock book like this over an album because it is so flexible and you can just move around your stamps as you see fit. And I like that this replicates an album, right? So this looks like a collection to me. This is, I know which ones I need. And as I'm going through stamp journeys or stamp searches, I can find one and say, and you know, fill a gap. Which, you know, if you're using it as a stock book just to store your stamps in random order, you don't have that same sense of completion. Map on stamp. I know there are specialists who like map on stamps. Not specialists, but topical collectors. Oh, I love these so much. Here is a nice, maybe nice. It's really off-centered, pretty muddied, but it is a ship on a stamp, which I appreciate. It's also got a $120 catalog value, which is fun to have. So this early commemorative is a nice series you're looking for, including the 5-cent, which has a $100 catalog value. Doesn't that look like just a run-of-the-mill stamp, and yet it is very collectible? And into the King George V. Nice. I've been reading up on my British royalty. He was an interesting fella. And we're getting, there it is! One of the more sought-after stamps in Canadian philately. A wonderfully beautiful engraved stamp. Absolute work of art. The blue nose. This one is particularly fine. A lovely, lovely stamp. Ah, what an evocative scene. Doesn't that just place you on the ocean? And I believe it was a racing schooner that actually ended its life as a rum deliverer in the Caribbean. So its glory days were behind it. It was stripped down, sent to the Caribbean, and brought rum between the islands in its last leg. And I think that's actually where it sunk, or was scuttled. There's the blue nose. Some more wonderful, wonderful scenes. Again, one of my favorite things about stamps is that these are just works of art. And look at them closely under a microscope. You can tell how much care and how much craftsmanship went into creating these works of art, these engraved pieces of paper. Absolutely beautiful. And unlike a painting that you might not be able to afford, these you can! And you can enjoy the scenery of Canada from the comfort of your own home. Oh, I love it. And they're into some of the more common 19 teens, 20s, 30s stamps are going to be more common kind of across the board. You are looking for new stamps if you're looking for collectible ones. But these are going to be more common. Yeah, I like this system. So what I did was I used a paper cutter to cut out each of these individual tabs. And it's putsy. I'm not gonna lie, it's putsy. But I do like the result. This feels like a really curated collection to me, and one that I'm quite proud of. You can see each of the individual stamps very easily. And then if I do find a new version of a stamp that I just had an old one, it's real easy to, or a used one, it's real easy to just swap them out. And into the King George VI stamps. I just finished a biography of his on him as part of my thinking about diving into, it's called June's Album. I've mentioned it elsewhere, but I have a collection of King George VI stamps, and so I read up on him and what a fascinating life he led. Really an unsung hero of World War II. The amount of times that he had to duck and cover, too, is something. But he also, here's a little known fact for you, he competed in Wimbledon, which I think is pretty amazing for a member of the royal family to do. He didn't do well, and it was the last time that a royal family member competed in public. But I thought that's pretty cool, that he put himself out there. Alright, I stopped at 1945 for this, and then dived into the back of the book section. I always love airmail stamps. These are no exception. Oh, very, very cool. And I mean, look, it's got a Canadian goose. You know, what more do you need but a stamp with a Canadian goose on it? I mean, come on. You know, another thing that's nice about these little tabs is they're easy to kind of pull back, and then it allows you to pull the sleeve back too without having to damage the stamp, so that's kind of cool. I like that. And into the special delivery section, some sought after stamps there too. That's a particularly nice mint never hinged. I like that stamp a lot. I hope your 2025 is off to a good start. I hope your New Year's resolutions are still intact. It's only been a couple of weeks, so... What we do is we don't do New Year's resolutions. We choose words to guide us throughout the year. And mine is focus this year. I want to do a better job of focusing on what matters to me. And you know what matters to me is you all. It's really true. I am so very grateful to all of you who have joined me on this Silk on the Web journey. And so I'm going to continue to focus on hopefully putting together entertaining videos for you all to, you know, maybe have on as you're pursuing your own philatelic goals for the coming year. So another part that's great about Canadian stamps are the provinces. There are some very, very sought-after stamps throughout the Canadian provinces. Most I don't have because they're a little pricey. For example, these early Newfoundland stamps. And some I do have. I love Newfoundland stamps. I know I'm not alone in that. I think they are beautiful. I think their topics are great. Very, very cool. Ah, another nice fish. Somebody can help me out with what kind of fish that is. That'd be cool. And this one is beautiful. Very fine, new. Oh, I love that stamp. If you don't use a system like this, once again, and just another reminder of the importance of cataloging your stamps so that it's easily handed off to someone else in the event that that's something that happens. Oh, look at this beautiful, beautiful dog. There are not enough dogs on stamps, I must say. That's a great one. Maybe that's a video for a future day. My top 10 dogs on stamps. And some of the early royal family. These are neat too. Yeah, I am proud of this. I just think it, you know, anytime you put together your own collection, there is that sense of pride in it because, you know, it's yours. You did it. You can continue to build on it and to see it grow over time. And what an enjoyable part of the hobby. Ah, another dog. The Newfoundland dog. I will be doing an adventure soon. Unfortunately, it's a little cold at the moment, so I decided to put that on hold. But look for an adventure from me in the future. I love these. Aren't those? That's part of the, you know, the Commonwealth-wide release. Very, very cool. Celebrating their marriage, of course. And another neat set, King George VI. Those are cool. I kicked off a firestorm in a recent video in which I said that French stamps are more beautiful than British stamps. You know, British Commonwealth stamps are very, very gorgeous. I did not mean to upset any British Commonwealth fans out there. They both can have their rightful place. Another dog. Look at this evocative scene. Isn't that something? Just makes you hop on the back of a team of sled dogs. Gosh, absolutely awesome. And the postage due for Newfoundland. And I think getting to the end, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and then some nice little miscellaneous ones. This one I love. Another cool find from a recent video. God, look at those two beavers. That's neat. Other cool little bits and pieces. These arrived in the mail. Thank you again. And there you go. Nice little ships. Oh yeah. There are some very, very cool trains in Canadian philately, and so I had to put a section together for them. Oh, very, very cool. And there you go. Oh, one last one. Isn't this neat? That's so cool. I like using stock books like this. I like that I'm able to put kind of miscellaneous bits and pieces throughout and then contain my collection in one nice... This is a Lighthouse 64 page, I believe, with the tips. A little high end. And it makes sense for a collection I love. So thank you for joining me on a tour of Canadian philately. Once again, if you're interested in pursuing Canada, get yourself a Unitrade specialized catalog. This is so very, very helpful. And I like it better than Scott, not gonna lie. Anywho. And do dive in. It is a country worth collecting, and it was fun putting this together. So thank you for joining me for another video. If you liked it, go ahead and like it, and do subscribe to the channel. It means a great deal to me. Until next time.